Hi everyone, I'm Norbert and I'm with Keller Williams. Today I want to talk to you about insurance. And insurance is such an important part of our daily lives. I brought in a professional. This is Brandon Sisco and he's with Farmers. Brandon, wanted to go and take some time, ask a few questions that I think people obviously want to know and understand about insurance. But before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, so I've been in the insurance industry a little over 20 years now. We just moved to this location over here in Rosenberg back in February, and we were in Stafford, for the first 19 years basically. So we've got we're multi-line insurance. We do auto, home, life insurance, commercial insurance. Really, just about any type of insurance you have, we can usually take care of it.
Okay, excellent. And I think the big question that's on everybody's mind right now is, once this pandemic's over, and hopefully that's soon, I know it's going to put a wrench in everybody's life, what's the first thing that you plan to do, you and your family?
Probably for me, I'll probably go out to some of the local businesses and kind of support them, and some of the ones that maybe haven't been opened as much or had some restrictions, try to help support our local community and get out and give them some of the business back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're so dependent on the small businesses, we don't realize it, but even some of the larger chains are owned by local people. So different restaurants and things like that are actually owned locally. So absolutely, I think that's important. So, we certainly appreciate that from the economy side. Obviously, as we talk about insurance, there's so many different facets there. Have people changed, with their coverages? Have they been looking at different additional coverages since this pandemic has started?
I wouldn't say that they've really changed anything. I think they've just been more aware, kind of making sure that their coverages were in place and, they didn't cancel or, just making sure that everything was in line. I don't think really they've changed much, just other than just making sure they had everything they needed.
So basically, they've had a little bit more time on their hands, actually had a chance to read their policy and understand what was in there.
Yeah, that's probably been the good thing for us about this whole thing is we've been able to actually talk to people more because they have more time. A lot of them weren't at work. So we were able to discuss certain coverages and policies and things like that with people because they were at home versus being at work. So that helped us out as far as, being able to talk with our clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What are, I think, especially right now, people are, if they are looking for coverage, what are some of the steps that they can do to make sure they get the lowest rates?
Well, for home insurance, the biggest factor, especially in our area because of our hurricane exposure, is roofs. Newer roofs are going to withstand hurricanes better, which is going to give you a better rate on your insurance. So that's the biggest factor, I would say, is just taking care of the roof. If it needs to be updated, update it, because normal wear and tear is not covered on insurance policies. I would say that's the biggest factor for home insurance right now.
Okay, good to know. And I think that obviously, as you get a home inspection, that's always something that's important. They are going to ask you about that, and insurance companies are going to want to know that. So that's a good point. Thank you. What are some things that are commonly not covered in a homeowner's policy?
A lot of times people don't realize that flood insurance is not covered. That's a completely separate policy. Some people think, hey, if I have a flood, it's going to be a part of my homeowner's policy, but it's not. Something I also mentioned earlier was the normal wear and tear. If you just have a roof that's, just old and it's leaking, has, holes in it or whatever, just from that's not covered either. It's only covered from, either wind or hail or fire or something like that. So those are probably the two biggest questions we get or issues we get with roofs.
Okay. Excellent. And then, hurricane season started June 1st, and it goes into the end of November. What's the one thing you'd want homeowners to know about their insurance coverage when it comes to hurricanes?
In our area, most of the companies, your wind and hail deductible is higher just because we have chances of something happening to your home are probably going to be from a hurricane. So most home insurance has higher deductibles, so that's something you need to probably prepare for. Is if you do have a claim, you're going to come more money out of pocket because of that. We do have some options with a few companies that'll do a lower deductible, but for the most part, it's higher deductibles on the wind and hail.
Okay, great. And then obviously, once you talk to the customers that come in, you can get them more specifics and more detailing, obviously, in pricing and coverage. Brandon, if people have more specific questions or they want more information, how can they contact you?
Probably the two best ways to contact us is the best way is by phone, because we can discuss it with you and get the details that we need, or you can send us an email. Email is bsisco@farmersagent.com.
And that's SISCO, just so everybody knows, it's not SY, it's SISCO. Brandon, I appreciate you taking this time, because like I said, when you talk about insurance, whether it be health, life, auto, home, any type of insurance out there, it's so important for us to have that coverage. We never expect those things to happen, but when they do, you want to make sure you have a good company behind you. So if y'all get a chance, come out, take a look, talk to Brandon. He and his company do a great job with farmers. Obviously, as you see behind us, they're right here in Roseburg in the Brazos Town Center. And if you have any questions, follow us on Facebook. I'm going to be posting up his Facebook tag as well, so you can go and follow him as well. All right, everybody, talk to you soon. Take care. Goodbye.